You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen.
You can't make this shit up. I just want you guys to know every single thing that Donald Trump said, he was 1000% correct.
Why don't we choose more carefully who we're going to lionize? Not just us, but like the Harvards and the MITs of the world. Look how they lionized Epstein, not to mention the Bill Clintons. Why don't we choose more carefully who we're going to put up on these pedestals? Jeffrey Epstein was lionized even after he had pleaded guilty to this act of prostitution, 14-year-old. I mean, still, Katie Couric's going to his house for dinner. Why? Not to mention Prince Andrew.
Yes, I don't know if you've seen this. A lot of people seems not to believe what they saw during this interview on Fox News. When you take a look at this tweet, what on earth? Something is wrong here. How did Epstein destroy the video? Cameras move his cellmate out. Why on earth watch after an alleged previous attempt a few days before to be able to do that in a cellmate to make that impossible? That is a question a lot of people are asking on social media. Yes, I'm going to play that video so you can see his body reactions to that question. You know, did he commit this? The way he responded to that question with a lot of question marks. Yes, every person is bound to question it like something's wrong here. If you love what I'm doing here, please subscribe, share the video, and if possible, check if your notification is on.
Well, Dan, throughout the Russia collusion story and the rest.
Look, I can speak to the folks that were in our seats, our predecessors, and they intentionally failed the American public by putting on the biggest DC deception game we've ever seen. They said the FBI was the most storied institution for law enforcement, and it was. And it will be again very soon. But when the likes of Comey and McCabe and Strzok and company came in here with the James Bakers of the world and intentionally lied to a federal court only to rig a presidential election by lying to the American public and using taxpayer dollars, likely illegally, to fund this entire operation and then withhold exculpatory information from a federal court that I used to appear before to manhunt terrorists, that's what broke the FBI. And then when they were caught, they lied about it. And you and a few others like Dan and others were brave enough to cover it 6, 7, 8 years ago. And we're still talking about it today because as Congress is working rigorously with us, the Crossfire Hurricane documents are coming fast and hard. And they're being sent there unredacted so we can have full accountability. And that's how you restore what the trust that was lost to the American public when it comes to the FBI.
Yeah, but come on, Director, with all due respect, we've been talking about this for a long time, and I've been demanding accountability for many, many years. One of the, you mentioned Comey, Strzok, and the rest, they've got TV shows, they've got media platforms, they're fine, there's been no accountability.
Well, look, it's a fair criticism, but what I will tell people is we weren't here in the FBI in the last 5 years when we had statute of limitations that were still in play, where we could have investigated criminal conduct. Most of these statute of limitations are 5 years old. And we will investigate criminal conduct where we find a righteous case to do so and the law and the facts allow us to. But a lot of it we're precluded from. So we'll take the criticism, and it's rightfully so. That could we have done more in the past? Sure, people before us could have. But what we can do now is continue to put out the documents and the information that these people withheld from the American public. And I'm just telling you right now, as much as we know about Crossfire Hurricane, he and I just found out more last week. And we're continuing to work with Congress to put those documents out. That's how vindictive and vicious the former leadership structure here was. Not only did they bastardize the FISA process and lie to the American public, they withheld and hid documentation and put it in rooms where people weren't supposed to look. And it's a good thing we're here now to clean it up, and you're about to see a wave of transparency.
What do you mean?
Just give us about a week or two.
Okay. Well, I can tell you right now that the judge that gave a smack on the wrist.
Yes, all the hidden cockroaches and the cupboard should be reviewed. I've seen a lot of people criticizing this guy. Like, for the past week, they have not seen somebody have not been arrested. You know, I've been saying this on social media every single day. I told one person they should give them time. Yeah, they should give them time to, work I was shocked today waking up to see this interview. I was like, oh, this is what we were talking about the other day. Now he is saying there are a lot of things that are going to come out. But I don't want to go fast into conclusion because that is the same thing Pambody told us about the Epstein files. We were ready, people are waiting till now. Nothing is being done about the whole situation.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, side when you see one, and that's what that was.
Well, Dan, throughout the Russia collusion story and the rest.
Look, I can speak to the folks that were in our seats, our predecessors, and they intentionally failed the American public by putting on the biggest DC deception game we've ever seen.
I believe you've seen the response, like he take away his life. That is a response. A lot of people don't believe this. Yes, even after this video, when I watch that clip and reactions I'm seeing on X, people are saying something is wrong with that video. There is something wrong. It's like they know something. They don't want to go deep into that. That is just the impression that I've seen.
Actually happened on January 6th.
So there is, it seems that I find myself in a similar situation as Russiagate. Because on January 6th, in the prior Trump administration, I was the chief of staff to the Department of Defense. And I spent 4 years in a minor fortune litigating the truth because people politicized what actually happened on January 6th. And we now know unequivocally that President Trump lawfully authorized the deployment of National Guard, and me as the head of the Office of Secretary of Defense, with the Secretary of Defense, took that action. When it finally came in, because it had to have the governor and mayor of D.C.'s approval on it. That's the way the law works. And once it finally came in on January 6th, remember, we offered to them days beforehand, and they rejected it. We've put out the letters, and your show has done great coverage showing how it was rejected. We mobilized the fastest cold start in Washington, D.C. since World War II, and the largest occupation of D.C. by the National Guard since the American Revolution. That's what happened on January 6th. But what you and your viewers want to know, now that we've beat back that disinformation campaign with actual truth, is what was the FBI doing? Well, we got answers coming. We just found a trove of information, and it's on its way to Capitol Hill right now. And they've asked, and they're getting them, and you're getting answers on January 6th. You're getting answers on what sourcing was utilized, what money was utilized, how many assets were utilized, who made those decisions. You're getting it. We can only control the FBI, but you're getting it from the FBI.
Were there FBI agents undercover egging people on?
Like I said, that answer is coming, and it's on its way to Congress.
I agree with you that Democrats cannot only be the party of resistance. We cannot, we resisted so hard between 2017 and 2024. We impeached the guy. We prosecuted him, convicted him of 34 felony counts, and guess what? He still got elected. So I don't know how much harder we can resist now.
Are you admitting that, that the case against Trump in New York was part of the organized Democratic Party resistance?
It was a Democratic prosecutor, and at the time, I said I thought it was unwise. I went on Fox News and said
there were Democrats who said this at the time.
There were a lot.
Just to be clear, everybody who now touts the 34 felonies, take it from Liz. This was not a real case. This was a plot to upend the presidential campaign, which backfired.
I just think it was a boneheaded move by Alvin Bragg, but it's not his first or last one. So.
This is why we invite Liz, because she's a plain-spoken New York Paul who can really tell it.
He doesn't want to respond to that question. Like he said, the answer to that question is coming. A lot of people want to know because this has been a topic of discussion for a very long time. I've seen people asking this, so I'm concluding. We are waiting. I'm here to report, show you what exactly is happening. There are things that people put out on social media, they consider it misinfo. Along the way, we are going to find out if that was actually the case. I don't want to say a lot about this man now. Yeah, I want to wait after 2-3 weeks to see exactly what they are going to do. I'm seeing a lot of people already trying to criticize, say a lot of things. I'm not going to do that. Yes, reason I decided to report this video so you can see exactly what is happening. Thank you guys who has been there sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. And don't stop to support me.
I'm horrified. And we're back to our daily segment.
If you're having some issues in your marriage,
And actually found a way to bitch and moan about how hard it is to live in the White House.
When you walk through a storm, keep your head held high. Show.
Big debate going on in
Think of Donald Trump's post this morning alleging that since I said I hate Taylor Swift,
will prevail.
It also shouldn't be racial.
Require Carmelo to run. He had
100.
Has been overwhelming. The lies in their amplification.
This is not going to end. Right is right and wrong is wrong. All good.
If you see any clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm.
What if he says self-defense? There's no self-defense. The kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor.
Bedroom, because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
followers for anything, and then the
Registration Act is
talking about this man, Killmonger.
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to
first term, and you will be very.
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does every year. This Carmelo Anthony case.
live in the White House. Many people
like little unhinged drunk.
And black people don't want to live around ratchet black.